What's good, peeps? What's good, everyone? All right, the fight has literally just finished between Kell Brook and Amir Khan. Kell Brook getting the job done in round 6. The ref jumping in. Was that the right decision? We'll talk about that in a few seconds. I just want to say, firstly, thank you so much to everyone that jumped on the live watch along. Nearly 3,000 of you watched the fight with me, which is crazy, if I'm honest with you. So I want to say thank you to everyone. Don't forget, we have a Sunday session live tomorrow where we're going to talk about this fight, what next for Kell, what next for Amir. It should be retirement. We're going to talk about Jorge Linares, who fought in Russia and lost as well. Should be retirement from him. We're going to do the Sunday session live at 7:30, maybe 7 o'clock, but I will put it on the community tab, so make sure you look out for it. But loads to talk about tomorrow, so make sure you join me for what I think will be a big live as well. All right, let's talk about the fight. Kell Brook got the job done. Look, I had Kell Brook winning all but one round, and even the round that he lost, I thought it was close. You could have given it to Kell. So some of you I know are going to have all 6 rounds to Kell Brook, and I won't argue with you. I thought Amir walking to the ring looked a bit nervous. And look, I get it. You're going to be nervous. It's a big fight. I've spoken to a lot of fighters in the past, and they always talk about their nerves in walking to the ring. But Amir Khan, who's done that ring walk, I think, 37, 38 times, looked a bit more nervous than I've seen him in the past. Could be for a number of reasons. Could be because of what was going on behind the scenes with the gloves, or it could be a case of it all got to him a little bit. The magnitude of what he was walking into. This is Kell Brook, his arch nemesis. This is the fight that should have happened for the best part of, I don't know, 7, 8 years ago. It was happening right there in front of him, and he looked a bit nervous, I thought, walking into the ring. I didn't like the fact that the British Boxing Board of Control made Kell Brook change his gloves in the ring. I've never seen that before. Look, again, I don't know what was going on behind the scenes, but I thought that was wrong. And the reason I thought it was wrong is because when you put your gloves on in the changing room, you see a lot of fighters go through their routines. They'll smash a few pads, they'll hit the walls. They just want their gloves to feel comfortable. Kell didn't have any opportunity to do that, so I didn't like that at all. But I didn't want that to be an inbuilt excuse for Kell if the worst happened. In the end, I have to admit, it was one-way traffic from Kell Brook. One-way traffic. As soon as Amir Khan felt the power, we've seen it before with Amir Khan, his Achilles heel is that chin, his legs started to go a bit Bambi on ice. And as soon as that happened, and that happened in the very first round, you knew it was done from there. And if you're Kell, you're super confident. If that happens then, if you're Kell, you're thinking, I've just got to get to you. I've just got to get to you, and it's going to happen again. Credit to Amir, he came back in round 2, and I thought it's a round he won. He was using his jab a lot, very fast jab. He was in and out. He clinched when he got close to Kell rather than staying in the pocket and having a firefight. But it just felt inevitable. And unfortunately for Amir, that's been his career. Although Amir's had an absolute fantastic career, and if that is it, he deserves all the plaudits he's going to get, because to go from Athens and then to have those fights at 135 and then to jump to 140 and I think be the best 140 to go to 147, the Canelo fight, he's had an amazing career. But you've always thought with Amir, it just takes one punch to kind of change the trajectory of a fight. And that's kind of what this did. That one punch came from Kell. I think it was in the last minute of round 1, and it was kind of done from there. I think Kell made the mistake of rushing his work after that, just because it's like, oh, okay, I've hurt you already? Well, then, and I think Kell kind of went away from his boxing a bit, which was, using that jab, circling, using his strength, maybe getting Amir to the ropes. I thought he went a bit headhunting, a little bit, but in the end, he was landing big shot after big shot after big shot. Look, a lot of the shots, I thought Amir Khan was taking on the gloves, but he started going to the body a bit. Amir Khan's legs started to slow down drastically. Amir Khan, I said in the lead up to the fight that this could be a case of Kell being a Ferrari, no engine. I should have applied that to Amir Khan. Amir Khan's gas tank literally went from there to there immediately. You saw it from rounds. He literally had 3 rounds in the tank, because after rounds 4, there was nothing. Even his hand speed, his jab in the first 2 or 3 rounds was super fast, like really sharp. Rounds 4, it was almost non-existent. The speed of his feet, which I think didn't look great from round 1, they started to slow down, and then he just started to stay there. It was very reminiscent, and I said this on the live, of his fight with Marcus Maidana, when Marcus Maidana got to him, and then Amir Khan literally is just a sitting duck. And I thought he was a sitting duck for Kell, and I don't know what Kell walked into the ring at, but I'm guessing if there was no rehydration clause, it would have been near the 170 mark. A sitting duck in front of a guy that hits as hard as Kell is just criminal. It's dangerous, and I thought that Bomac might have thrown in the towel. But maybe because he doesn't have that connection with Khan, there isn't that that worry. Does that make any sense? There isn't like, him and Khan have only done one camp together and they're only going to do one camp together. So I don't know if it's that relationship of, I care about you, I'm going to save you. Because I thought Khan was starting to eat some shots, and Khan is tough, as much as he might be a bit chinny, that man's tough as old boots, and he was telling Kell to come on, and Kell's like, really? Dude, I'm going to hurt you. And Kell, from the start of round 6, he literally jumped on Amir Khan, and Amir didn't know what was going on. Then the ref said, you know what, enough's enough. Enough's enough. I thought, and it's difficult to analyse Kell, but I was watching that thinking, Kell looks really good. Honestly, I was thinking Kell looks good. And I mean, there's been a lot of talk about, will both retire after? I don't know, based on that performance, if Kell doesn't think, you know what, let me have a couple of fights at 154. There's a lot of talk about Conor Ben. I don't see it happening because Kell's not going to get to 147. And I don't know if Conor will come up to 149. I don't think Eddie will let him. Obviously, he's a bit of a golden goose now for Eddie Conor. And I look at that Kell and I think, man, that Kell looks like he's still got a bit left. Looked very spiteful, looked very big in the ring, very confident, very, very sure about himself. I don't think Kell retires off the back of that. I think Kell, and look, I'm filming this, and as I'm filming it, he could be talking, saying he's going to retire, but I think he looks at that performance and thinks, there's maybe 1 or 2 more left in the tank. Maybe at 154 pounds, maybe some fun fights. Not every fight has to be, with the aim of winning a world title. Some fights can just be fun fights. It might be Eubank at 160. Who knows? I mean, it might be that. I mean, Brook will outbox Eubank. And in terms of power, it's debatable whether Eubank is as powerful as Brook. So look, there are some fun fights out there for Kell Brook. But, look, I said I wanted Kell to win. I predicted Kell would win. And I wanted it because, and you see the way Kell celebrated after, it means a lot to Kell, this. It means a lot. I don't think this mentally would affect Khan as it would have affected Kell. And that's why I almost wanted it a bit more for Kell as well, because I feel like if Kell lost this fight, mentally it's difficult to recover. It really is. Whereas Amir's had such a good career. I mean, both amateur and pro. I don't think it was important for Amir, but I think it was more important for Kell. Kell's been chasing him for 10 years. Think about how long that is, chasing someone for 10 years, and for 10 years that person's been avoiding you or, doing other things and having bigger fights in America. You've been struggling to get fights in the UK, and finally you get him. And, he's tried to drain you down to 149. There's been a lot of talk about rehydration clause. He's tried to make everything in his favour, and then you get him and you stop him. There's going to be no better feeling for Kell. Like, Kell isn't going to go sleep tonight. He isn't. He's probably going to go sleep about 8 in the morning because he's going to be on such a high right now. He really is. Look, credit to Sky for putting it on the undercard. I guess the less we talk about the undercard, the better. But the main event, just the drama of it, I guess it delivered, right? The fight didn't deliver because Amir simply had nothing left. Very reminiscent, and I don't want to make the comparison, but very reminiscent of a David Haye who, talked the talk against Tony Bellew, but there was nothing there, was there? There was nothing there, and there was nothing there for Amir. It was poor from Amir, like literally. Again, a couple of rounds was good. After that, not much in the tank. Not much in the tank at all. But look, credit to both. Again, we are going to do a Sunday session live tomorrow where we'll talk about this in more depth. Obviously, I'll answer your questions, and we can get into a good old debate about what next for both. But look, if this is Amir Khan's final fight, and it should be, I'm sure it will be, what a career. What a career. It's a shame that in the last couple of years we haven't seen Amir Khan, apart from, what was his last fight, Billy Dib. It's a shame that we haven't seen him be a bit more active in the last 4 or 5 years, actually. But what an amazing career. And for Kell, he needed this. He really did. And look, if it's the end for both, then what a way to go out. A Arena, Manchester, how many in there? 20,000? It's not a bad way to go out for both. They would have made, a couple of million quid each, maybe more, because it would have, honestly, the upside on pay-per-view is going to be incredible. So they would have got their base money, and then a case of, okay, let's see what it does pay-per-view wise. It's going to do very, very well pay-per-view wise. So look, credit to Kell. I'm a Kell Brook fan, so I'm happy, but also credit to Amir Khan on what has been a tremendous career. See you tomorrow, guys.